This for all y'all brothers is saying that Egypt started in America. Cause y'all, I mean, we've been talking about that's old information, to be honest with you. I learned that about 26, 27 years ago. That's not nothing new. And it's not nothing to debate about or to have an argument about. But if you wasn't here, if you wasn't there, if you ain't, if, would you here? Would you part of that Egypt of the West? Because that actually took place in your lifetime. And if you wasn't there a part of building some of that, you know what I mean? And you talking about some ancient shit that you can't confirm in this day and time that you was there. You know what I mean? So it's deeper than this is the original motherland. You know, we walked that out in real time. We wasn't just speculating and pulling up Google photos. We was walking that shit out, meaning that not only that we talk about the beings of a Maxim, which were the Olmecs, which were the rubber plant people, right? Because all life started in Uganda. You know what I mean? That's where the human life started, when the mammal was integrated. Because before it was mammals, it was reptilians. And this whole planet was submerged in water. There was no land. You follow? You're starting from a point after the earth and came up out of the water. The tectonic plates began to shift and the land started to separate it. And now y'all talking all this motherland this and motherland that. When, you know, you're conceptualizing from somewhere in the timeline that's not at the origin point. You follow? So I'm not saying that there weren't people here at the same time that it was going on in Africa. What I'm saying is your interpretation is off. And when you talk about Egypt of the rest or the resurrection of Egypt in the West, which it was an Egypt in the West, for lack of a better word, we know it's not called Egypt, but for lack of a better word, there was an Egypt in the West. And if you were a part of the Ramesses Lodge, if you were a Nawapian, right, during from 92, that's right, in Atlanta, Georgia, then you took part in the resurrection of Egypt in the West. You know what I mean? And we bought that out then. So people just coming up now talking about Egypt started in the West and all that, you know, if you're not giving it up to the doc and you talking all that type of stuff, I got to look at you kind of skeptical because you didn't take part in resurrecting Egypt of the West. You know what I mean? We could talk about the ancient shit all day, but when we talk about Egypt of the West, you know what I mean? This is what I know Egypt of the West. And let me see if I can find another picture here. Uh, yeah. No, that's the Ben Ben stone. And that was built by people that was from here, from the west side. West side? You know what I mean? It wasn't no west or east side when the land came out the water. It was just one piece of land. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was in Eatonton, Georgia. But a lot of people be on here talking about Egypt or the West, and they fail to mention this. And when you do that, it shows me your lack of understanding of what you're talking about and that you're not really dialed into anything. You're just picking up on the narrative of somebody else. But really, this was Egypt of the West resurrected, right? And that's where all these stories came from out of the Ben Ben stone. You know what I mean? Which was under the orchestration of the Supreme Grand Master Teacher, Dr. Malachi York. You know, he the one, and I'm not saying that he was the first person to say all that, but he the one that made a lot of this stuff uh, famous, or he brought it to a public domain where people, you know, your average everyday layman can learn about this stuff. You know what I mean? But y'all talking about how old stuff is and all of that shit. Here at Noontide Ray, we deal in the now. And at the point of now that I'm talking about is things that actually happened along the timeline of which we existed in. I don't like to go too far off into the past or too far off into the future because it removes the presence. You know what I mean? And nothing needs to be allocated like the presence. And not once in any of these people that I hear talking about Egypt or the West do I hear them mention the Ben Stone, Wahani, the Golden City, Kodesh, and or Tamaray, which we've been saying that. Don't let me go pull out my Tamaray overcoat and my Tamaray t-shirts and my Tamaray flag on y'all. You know what I mean? Because Brother Ray was a part of it, man. You know what I mean? So that's what I took part of. And I don't have to refer to something too ancient. I could use something modern day in order to validate where I'm coming from. You know what I mean? And let me see here. But it's not no big I'm not here to have no pissing contest with y'all. You know what I mean? But this actually took place in real time. You know what I mean? That's Egypt of the West, man. That was here in Eatonton, Georgia, man. I'm telling you. I was there, brother. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we was calling the land Tamaray. We called this land Tamaray right here. I ain't talking about what they used to call it way back in the day. I'm talking, this was about 25, 30 years ago when I'm showing you right here. And I never said I was the only one. What I said is you didn't make mention to this. You follow? You wanted to go all the way back into some ancient shit and talk about how this the motherland. And all I'm saying is, before you even go back that far, and this makes a lot of my points when I be talking about your ancestors, y'all. You know, everybody want to go back and surpass Big Mama and Big Daddy and go into some old shit. But they don't want to deal with the present, man. That's the issue, man. You know what I mean? Exactly. Before TikTok, before it was a Facebook, any of that. This is what was going on, man. Right here in America, or a Maxim, or Turtle Island, or the Land of the Frogs. You know, because I know all those names. Now, y'all just jumping on some wave or some trend and trying to say that this is the motherland. Yeah, it's the motherland for the people that was born here. You follow? It was for equinox, maybe an epoch of time. But what you got to realize is that the mammal, the Homo erectus form, is not where things started from, beloved. You know, and I'm not saying that your points don't have some validity to them. It's just that that's not a point. That's not the original point of origin. You know what I mean? That's not the original point. And we're not here to go back and forth about all of that because you put more energy into that than you do your own Big Mama, man. You know what I mean? Y'all care more about what happened a million years ago than your own Big Mama, who used to fix your biscuits and grits, tell you to bow your head at the table and set a prayer for your black ass. She needs your help. But y'all trying to have Pan-African versus Egypt or whatever the fuck debates. And it's useless. It's like, how are we benefiting from that? You follow? I don't care where the motherland was. But what I do know is I got a mother and a father. And my mother passed, so I venerate her. And her mother and father passed, and I venerate them, and I benefit from that. Mentally, physically, and spiritually, and emotionally. And I've done it long enough to where these particular gods that you're talking about, I can make a cell phone call to them gods. And they'll give me the information that I need that will benefit me. You know what I mean? But you got to be dialed in. And see, this is what I be trying to tell y'all people on 1089 TV. And there's no knock at these brothers that be out here putting out this Googleable information. Because anybody could be a historian. All you got to do is search. But you leaving people distracted from dialing into their ancestors because that's not your bottom line. It's connecting people to their ancestors. And I'm not talking about that ancient shit. I'm talking about your mothers, your fathers, your grandmothers, your stuff that you've had the ability to experience. And that's what Brother Ray wants y'all to do. I don't want y'all to get overexcited and become zealots. I want you to be present. And I want you to have the capability to dial into your own ancestors. And when I say ancestors, I'm talking about those that you experienced at the family reunion. Whether that be your mother or father, their mothers and fathers, or their mothers and fathers. You know what I mean? Venerate them, man. We the only people that don't do that. Yeah, that's why them African niggas come over here and look at you like you crazy. Cause they don't see your ancestors around you, man. Yeah, them Chinese people look at you skeptically. Cause they don't see your ancestors around you, G. Same thing for the brothers in South America. Even in Mexico. They come over here, they don't see your ancestors around you. That's why you get the cold shoulder. That's why won't nobody listen to what you got to say. That's why you're always in conflict and being combative. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all not giving it up, man. And that's why our people taking the L at. And that's coming from the beings that built the pyramids over here. You're like, damn, man, how come these niggas don't want to, give it up to their big mama? I'm like, hey, man, they think it's more important to dial into you. And like I said earlier in my build, before the brother came in with that point, them beings do not want you to connect with them if you're not connecting with your own ancestors, man. That's like your son's best friend calling you daddy and calling your wife mommy and just shitting on his own parents for no apparent reason. It's a chain of command. And if you're not following the direct chain of command, you're not going to get the right messages all the time. You're not going to have a purpose in whatever you're researching and do it. They'll fuck all of that up. It ain't no devil. It ain't no pink pale man doing that. It be your own ancestors, man. They'll petition for jinns to attack your ass. Because a brother like me will come across your platform and be like, hey, man, you need to dial into your ancestors. You think because you done read 1,000 books that you don't need to dial into your ancestors. That's bullshit. Because knowledge itself is not a sufficient condition. It's not. You're going to have to use some application.